All right, I'm on hole number 4 of the Pacific Cup tournament. I'm in Monday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Let's go check out hole number 4. And hole number 4 is at Maple Bay, and it is hole number 1. Hole number 1. And we are at Golf Clash Notebook. That's where we're getting all of this stuff at. Awesome site. I just wish they'd update it more often. All right. There's probably a shot to try and get on. And I talked about this earlier today on my upper level account, but I'm going to cover it again here. You got 1, you got 2, you're trying to get over, that's 3. 1 puts you in long iron range. 2 puts you in short iron range, possibly wedge, depending on if you bring a big ball. And this one right here could be good or bad. So the deal is it's pretty easy to lay up out here, and it's pretty easy to lay up here. You do have to get your shot right so you don't bleed off or clip the sand. But these 2 shots back here are doable, and they're repeatable. So like once you figure out, this is the first time I've taken this shot right here trying to go into this, because I'm taking this shot. The first time I've tried to take the shot with this account. So I have no idea. I have no idea what ball combo will work or what club will work, or if I have to bring my extra mile, or if I can use my quarterback. I would prefer to use my quarterback. And if I had them, I would use a low wind ball. So like a 2 power, 4 or 5 wind, one of those balls that's got enough power to get you over here, but then a whole load of lower wind, so that when you're taking this shot right here, because this is the money shot right here. So bringing the right ball so that when you get up here, you got a low wind ball. You could bring a big power ball so that you could try and get out here on the end and bring like a Kingmaker, but you really are kind of wasting the power. But Kingmakers are cheaper than the low wind balls. So I don't know that I have any low wind balls, so I'll probably end up bringing a Kingmaker out here just so I have a 3 ball. And the 3 power ball is going to get me deeper into my club. So a 3 power ball, especially a 3 power low wind ball, a Kingmaker X. Is that a 4 power ball? Or I think there's a 3 power ball out there, maybe a mummy ball that's 3 power low wind. But you could use it out here so that it may get you in your wedge range. Or you can bring a low power high wind ball. I think I'm going to, but I have no idea how the shot's set up. The thing about the going for it is if you go for it and you fail once, that's epic fail. I mean, epic. I mean, that's like the end of your tournament. I mean, that kills your whole round. You can't afford to be out of bounds. And that shot going over there, you could be out of bounds. And with upper developed stuff, it's still an iffy shot. So with lower developed stuff, it's a, what the heck are you thinking, dude? I'm going to take my Kingfisher. I definitely want to be in my Kingfisher range, and it hits 88, so it's 1.2 per ring. Kingfisher. Writing these numbers down so I don't have to write them down again. 1.2 per ring. I'm going to play it as more accurate. 1.2, and I'm going to write some numbers down on it. So it's 1.2, 2.4, I think that's 2.1 for mid, max. All right. Now what do I have for balls? None of those will work. I'm going to bring a Kingmaker because it's the, man. I have more Kingmakers than I have. I'm going to bring a Katana and see if I can get it done with a Katana. If a 2 wind ball can get me over to the other side, just because I don't have a big ball collection. But I have a lot more Katana. So we'll see if it will work, and if it won't, I'll bring a Titan because Titans are cheaper. That's usually Monday's round is all about trying to figure out what club and what ball I'm going to bring, and because then you can really do the count on how many of those balls you have. So if you start using a ball, you're going to need, if you're using that ball in the qualifying round, opening round, and weekend round, you're going to need 5 of that ball just for that hole. So like if you've got 4 or 5 holes you're using a Titan on and you need 5 for each one, then you're looking at 20, 25 balls just in Titans just to get through that. So knowing what ball to bring is key. I think I would be better with my extra mile. I think I can get that sucker up there. I have no ball guide though, so I don't know if I'm overrunning. And it's better to be short and not in the rough down there. So I'm gonna do 2.5, 2 3/4, and see what that is. I'm going to take the wind out. There's 2.5. Take out like a ring and a quarter. Isn't it perfect? And see if I got my topspin right, because I would rather be short than long. Because short, you're still up here and you get a shot, you just may not be as deep in your club. So 2 3/4 was about as, I mean, you could probably go 3, but I'm pretty far down there. And it starts to go downhill where if it still has some speed, it could just roll off the tip. Let's see if my opponent can get it right. The problem with bringing too small of a ball, because I'll come out here with in one-on-one play with a extra mile and a marlin, is that in order to get over the sand, you got to put so much topspin on it to get over the sand that it does roll off the front. There's a super fine line. All right, this is definitely going to be Kingfisher range. Okay, so there's minimum club. So I'm right at minimum, which is 2.4 per ring. I'm going to put just a titch of backspin on it. I'm going to get right up on the hole. We're going to do a 20% wind adjustment here. Let's make sure we're right up on it. So 2.7, that's 3.6, that's 3.3. It's 2.4 per ring. So that leaves me about 1. 2.4. A little less than 1.5. 1 2/5. Oh, I hit it great to the right. Just on the outside. Perfect, I'd go in the hole. So if you know your numbers, even if you've got lower developed stuff, there are some clubs in your bag that if you bring those clubs, like that Kingfisher, you're going to get cards for that Kingfisher when you're not getting a lot of, when you're in the tours 2, 3, and 4, you're going to get a lot of cards for your Kingfisher. And that Kingfisher is super accurate. It has great ball guide. And one of the things you're missing with lower developed clubs is great accuracy and great ball guide. Ball guide being number 1. And that Kingfisher has it. What it doesn't have, they did buff it though, and they gave it a little bit of topspin early, because it used to not have any topspin at all for like the first 3 or 4 or 5 levels, 3 or 4 levels. But they gave it some topspin and a little bit of distance. So, I mean, it's a lot more usable as far as those go, but it's always been a great club for low-level accounts because it has great accuracy and great ball guide. It doesn't work all the time. You got to get to a certain distance in order to be in your Kingfisher range, because it doesn't hit as far as the other short irons. But it's an excellent club, especially for low-level accounts. It's an excellent club to stay in your bag for a long time, because the other options don't develop until deeper into the game. As soon as your Hornet gets to the point, when you get a Hornet and you get your Hornet so that it's as accurate as the Kingfisher, then it becomes the club. But your short iron should always be about accuracy, ball guide, and accuracy. Those are the key ingredients in a short iron. And so if you have lower developed stuff, if you can get yourself into short iron range, you have just as good a chance as the guys that have upper developed clubs. You just obviously have to hit perfect, which I didn't do. And on long iron shots, you're not that far off, because the backbone does develop really quick. And you can get your backbone up to level 10 just by playing Tour 3 and 4. And I think that's the way to go, is to play Tour 3 and 4 until your backbone is maxed out, until you get a couple commons maxed out, because then you can start competing you can start getting the prism chest, even though you're at level 4 and you haven't played anything higher. And you can really start to get your clubs developed. I think if 2 people started accounts today and they played the same amount of time, and one went straight to Tour 7 and worked on their clubs, so that they're working on all their clubs at the same time versus somebody who slow played and went to tour 3 or 4 and just stayed there until they got all their commons maxed out and started building up their rares, that over the course of a year, the guy who slow played it would have a much better bag. All right, that was tour 4, or excuse me, tour 4, hole 4 of the Pacific Cup and Monday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.